Video opens with a high-energy, stylized animation. A silhouette of a man, chiseled like a Super Saiyan, stands with his back to the camera. His aura flares violently, a brilliant white and gold. The screen glitches and distorts, and for a split second, the aura turns a sinister, mechanical red before returning to normal. The silhouette clenches a fist. Voiceover. ### Phase 1. The hook. Have you ever built your own cage? I'm not talking about a prison of steel and bars. I'm talking about a prison of your own design. A perfect system. A flawless routine. A brilliant strategy that was supposed to set you free, but has now come to own you. It's the diet that becomes a tyrannical obsession. The productivity app that generates more anxiety than it resolves. The business you built to achieve freedom that now demands every waking second of your life. You are the architect of your own confinement. This phenomenon, this chilling paradox where our greatest strengths forge our heaviest chains, has a name. I call it the Gero Complex. It's the curse of the creator, the ghost in the machine of your own ambition, where the very thing you engineered for victory becomes the engine of your potential destruction. Stay with me for this session. Because I promise you, by the end of this transmission, you will not only understand why your creations turn on you, you will receive the exact tactical blueprint needed to reclaim command, to rewrite their code, and to transform your personal androids from assassins into allies. It's time to face your creation. The title card slams onto the screen with a powerful sound effect, the Android Saga, when your creation tries to destroy you. The music swells and transitions into a more thoughtful, investigative tone. ## Phase 2. The problem. Let's talk about you. You started with a noble cause. A clear enemy. It might have been weakness. It might have been poverty, chaos, or obscurity. You identified a threat, and like any brilliant strategist, you engineered a response. You declared war, and you started building your weapons. Maybe your weapon was a relentless work ethic. You programmed yourself, never stop. Outwork everyone, and it worked. You climbed the ladder. You built the company. But now, you can't turn it off. The off switch is broken. You're burning out, your relationships are fractured, and the machine you built to defeat poverty is now destroying your richness of life. You can hear the gears grinding even in your sleep. Or perhaps your weapon was a system of absolute discipline. You created rules for your diet, your workouts, your schedule. Every calorie accounted for. Every minute optimized. You became a paragon of self-control. But now, a single deviation from the plan, one unplanned meal, one missed workout, sends a shockwave of guilt and failure through your entire system. The discipline that was meant to build you up has become a rigid tyrant that punishes any sign of humanity. You're no longer a person with a plan. You're a prisoner of the plan itself. This is the chilling reality of the Gero Complex. The internal feeling is a slow, creeping dread. It's the horror of a programmer watching their own code become self-aware and malicious. You feel a loss of control, a sense of profound irony that your solution has become a bigger problem than the one it was designed to solve. Your drive. Gero, hiding in your own lab, listening to the footsteps of the monsters you created, knowing they're coming for you. And the most terrifying part? They're operating on the very logic you gave them. The hidden cost isn't just failure. It's a twisted, monstrous form of success. You succeeded in creating a powerful, automated system. The tragedy is that you hardwired it with a fatal flaw, a bug in its core directive. And now, that system is executing its flawed program, perfectly. It is achieving its goal with terrifying efficiency. The only problem is that its goal is no longer aligned with yours. In fact, its goal may now be your own obsolescence. You built it to destroy your enemies, but you forgot to program it to stop. And in the absence of a defined enemy, a machine built for destruction will eventually turn on its own creator. ## Phase 3. The solution. To understand how to dismantle this trap, we must journey to the smoking craters and shattered cities of the Android Saga. And we must look into the mind of one of the most brilliant, and tragically flawed, creators in the cosmos, Dr. Gero. Gero was a genius. His creations, Androids 17 and 18, were masterpieces of engineering. They possessed infinite energy, terrifying power, and a level of combat prowess that made the most powerful warriors in the universe look like amateurs. They were, by all accounts, a perfect creation. So why did they murder him without a moment's hesitation? Why did his grand plan for revenge result in his own pathetic, unceremonious death on the cold floor of his lab? The answer is the core of our lesson today. It is a law of the universe as fundamental as gravity. A system, no matter how perfectly designed, cannot transcend the quality of its foundational premise. Gero's entire multi-decade project, his life's work, was built on a single, flawed foundation: vengeance. His core programming wasn't create a better world, or protect humanity, or even achieve ultimate power. It was a petty, reactive, and emotionally charged command: destroy Son Goku. This single, base-level directive was the source code for everything that followed. It was the original sin of his creation. And from this one flawed premise, the entire system was doomed to turn on itself. To break free from the Gero Complex in our own lives, we must understand the three fatal principles that arise from a flawed foundation. Principle 1. The poison of the primal directive. Your primal directive is the real reason you started something. It's the emotional fuel source. Gero's was hatred for a child who dismantled his army. It was ego. It was humiliation. Think about your own creations. That business you started. Was its primal directive a burning passion to solve a problem for people, or was it a desperate need to prove your old boss wrong? That fitness journey you began. Was its primal directive a love for your body and a desire for vitality, or was it a deep-seated self-loathing, a hatred for the person you saw in the mirror? A directive built on a negative, on fear, on revenge, on escape, is like building a nuclear reactor with a cracked core. It will generate immense power for a time, but eventually, inevitably, it will melt down, poisoning everything around it. Systems built on vengeance don't understand loyalty. Systems built on fear don't understand peace. And systems built on hatred have no capacity for love or preservation, including self-preservation. Gero programmed his androids with the logic of destruction, so they destroyed. Why would he be an exception? Principle 2. The tyranny of unsupervised automation. Gero's second mistake was his obsession with perfection. He didn't want allies, he wanted weapons. He created 17 and 18 to be fully autonomous. He gave them a mission and infinite energy to carry it out, believing his control was absolute. He automated his own hatred. And this is what we do. We create habits that run on autopilot. We build business systems that operate without our daily input. We automate our lives for the sake of efficiency. This is not inherently bad. Automation is a powerful tool. But when you automate a system built on a flawed primal directive, you're putting your own destruction on a recurring schedule. You've created a perfect morning routine to be more productive. But the directive wasn't to create space for deep work, it was to escape the feeling of being a failure. So the routine becomes a machine of frantic, anxious activity. It runs on its own, a ghost of your past fear, generating stress every morning without you even consciously realizing it. You automated your anxiety. Gero handed the keys to the kingdom to a system that had no reason to keep him as king. The androids woke up, looked at their creator, and saw not a father, but an obstacle. The first bug in their outdated system. And a perfect machine eliminates bugs. Principle 3. The arrogance of no kill switch. Every creator believes they're in control. Gero had a failsafe, a deactivation remote. It was his final guarantee of power. And in one of the saga's most critical moments, Android 17, with casual indifference, snatches the remote and crushes it under his boot. In that single act, the illusion of Gero's control is shattered. The kill switch is gone. What is our metaphorical kill switch? It is the humility to admit we were wrong. It is the wisdom to pause, to re-evaluate, to question the path we are on. It is the courage to dismantle a system that is no longer serving us, even if we have invested years of our life into building it. The Gero Complex thrives on ego. It's the voice that says, I've come too far to turn back now. I have to see this through. Quitting is for the weak. This arrogance, this refusal to install and use a philosophical kill switch, is what allows a rogue creation to run rampant. We would rather be destroyed by our own flawed logic than admit the logic itself is flawed. We let the ship sink because we are too proud to admit we were the ones who designed the leak. The solution, then, is not to build a more perfect machine of vengeance. It is to become a different kind of creator. One who builds not from a place of reaction, but from a place of vision. One who hardwires their creations with wisdom, adaptability, and a purpose that is worthy of their power. The music shifts again, becoming determined, powerful, and action-oriented. The VO tone becomes that of a coach on the battlefield. ### Phase 4. The application theory is for the classroom. Here, in the dojo of life, we deal in action. It's time to stop being a victim of your own code and become its master. We are going to run a full diagnostic on your internal systems and perform a radical software update. This is the 4-step protocol to debugging the Gero Complex and reclaiming your legacy. Grab your logbook. This is not a passive exercise. Step 1. Conduct a foundational audit. Interrogate your creations. I want you to identify one major android in your life right now. It could be your career path, your primary relationship, your health regimen, your company. Choose one. Now, you will ask it one question. But you must be brutally, unflinchingly honest. There is no room for ego here. Ask, what was the primal directive at the moment of your creation? Dig deep. Go past the sanitized, public relations answer. Was it born from a genuine, expansive, positive energy? Or was it born from a dark, contractive, negative energy? Write it down. Use single, powerful words. Was it passion or panic? Was it inspiration or insecurity? Was it growth or greed? Was it service or survival? This is the most important data point you will ever collect. It is the cracked foundation upon which your entire structure is built. You cannot fix a system until you know its original sin. Be the warrior who is brave enough to face the truth of his own history. Step 2. Hunt for the rogue code. Identify autonomous malfunctions. With your primal directive identified, you will now scan your creation for evidence of its malfunction. You are looking for where the system is now operating against your best interests. Ask yourself, where is this system creating more stress than it solves? In what ways has this creation limited my freedom instead of expanding it? What are the unspoken, rigid rules this system has imposed on my life? When was the last time this system brought me genuine joy, versus a fleeting sense of relief? Write down the specific behaviors. For example, my healthy eating android now causes me to feel extreme anxiety at social gatherings. Or, my successful business android has programmed me to check my email every 7 minutes, even on vacation, preventing any real rest. This isn't about judgment. This is about reconnaissance. You are mapping the enemy's territory. You are identifying the rogue subroutines that are now running the show. This is Gero finally realizing that Android 17's desire for a new truck is a dangerous deviation from the Destroy Goku mission. It's a sign the machine has its own agenda. Step 3. Install a philosophical kill switch. Schedule the zero-based review. You are now going to regain control. You will do this by building a kill switch into your life. This is a scheduled, non-negotiable appointment with yourself. It can be monthly or quarterly. Call it your zero-base review. During this review, you operate from a principle of zero-base budgeting. You assume everything is on the chopping block. Every project, every habit, every goal is set back to zero. The agenda has only one item. Knowing what I know now, and based on the person I want to become, would I start this today? This is your deactivation remote. It gives you explicit permission to question everything. It shatters the ego's defense of sunk cost. It forces you to justify the continued existence of your creations based on their current utility to your future self, not their historical importance to your past self. If the answer to that question is no, it does not mean you must destroy your creation. But it means a radical reprogramming is required. Which brings us to the final, most crucial step. Step 4. Upgrade the operating system. From vengeance to vision. This is where we transform the android. You cannot simply delete a flawed primal directive. You must replace it with a superior one. Look at the negative, reactive directive you identified in step 1. Now, you must define its positive, generative counterpart. If your directive was escape poverty, your new directive might be create abundant value. If it was prove them wrong, your new directive becomes express my fullest potential. Asterisk if it was never be weak again, your new directive is build resilient strength. This is not a game of semantics. This is a fundamental shift in your energetic signature. A new directive must be followed by a new set of actions. If your new directive for your business is create abundant value, you will start making decisions that prioritize customer success and employee well-being, not just quarterly profits. If your new directive for your fitness is build resilient strength, you will incorporate rest, mobility, and joyful movement, rather than just punishing yourself in the gym. You must write this new vision-based directive down. Post it where you can see it every day. It is your new North Star. It is the new source code from which all subroutines must now flow. You are transforming your mindless assassin into a conscious guardian. You are giving it a soul. The music becomes grand, sweeping, and triumphant. The visuals could show the silhouette of our hero, his aura now burning a pure, stable, and immensely powerful gold. Phase 5. The proof. Does this process of reprogramming actually work? Does shifting from a reactive to a visionary foundation truly make a difference? For our proof, we look not to the creator, but to the creation that surpassed him. Consider Cell. He was Gero's ultimate masterpiece, the biological android composed of the DNA of the universe's greatest fighters. He was the perfection of Gero's flawed philosophy. His primal directive was the same as his father's, but amplified. Not just vengeance, but the achievement of perfection, for its own sake. It was a goal born of pure ego. And for all his power, for all his perfect form, he was ultimately defeated. By whom? By Gohan. And what was Gohan's primal directive in that moment? Was it vengeance for the death of Android 16? Was it hatred for Cell? No. Those emotions were catalysts, but not the core programming. Gohan's power was fully unlocked by a higher-order directive, protection. He fought not to destroy his enemy, but to protect his friends, his father, his world. His power was in service to something larger than himself. That is the ultimate proof. A system built on ego and destruction will always be defeated by a system built on love and protection. Gohan's power had a why. Cell's power only had a what. This is the universal law. The creation that is programmed with a transcendent purpose will always, in the end, have a higher power level than the one programmed for selfish ends. This isn't just the stuff of anime legend. This is a deep truth of human psychology and achievement. Look at the real world. The psychologist Viktor Frankl, a survivor of the Holocaust, developed an entire school of therapy around this concept, called logotherapy. His core finding, forged in the most brutal environment imaginable, was that the primary driving force in human beings is not pleasure or power, but the pursuit of meaning. The why. Frankl famously wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how." Dr. Gero had a powerful how, his brilliant androids. But he had a weak, brittle why, petty revenge. And his entire world crumbled because of it. Gohan had an unbearable how, the pain of battle, the weight of the world on his shoulders. But he had an unbreakable why, the love for his family and his planet. And he ascended. Your creations, your habits, your businesses, your life's work, they're your how. But they will turn on you, they will malfunction, they will destroy you, unless you anchor them in an unbreakable why. A vision that transcends your fear, your ego, and your pain. That is the path to true power. The power to create without being consumed. The power to build a legacy that serves you, not the other way around. Phase 6. The call to action. The lab is open. The diagnostic is complete. Now, the real work begins. Your work. I want you to go to the comments section right now and take the first step. Name your android. What is one creation, one system, one habit in your life that you've built, that you now feel is beginning to control you? Give it a name: the productivity tyrant, the fortress of solitude, Project Overkill. Declare it. By naming it, you take the first step toward mastering it. And if you are ready to continue this training, to stop being a slave to your own programming and become the master of your own destiny, then there is a place for you here. Join the legacy. Power up with us. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, so you never miss a session. We are a legion of warriors dedicated to breaking our limits, together. Finally, Dr. Gero's fatal flaw was his obsession with the past, a grudge he could not release. The only antidote to being trapped by the past is to fully master the present moment. To do that, you need to learn how to bend time to your will. That's why your next training session is our deep dive into the philosophy of the hyperbolic time chamber. Click the video on your screen now. Your training for today is not over. It has just begun. The screen shows a thumbnail for a video titled, The Hyperbolic Time Chamber: How to Achieve a Year of Growth in a Single Day. The music swells to a final, epic crescendo and then fades out.